Okay, this being the time and place of the regular scheduled December Planning Commission meeting, I'd like to call us to order. Please call the roll.
Lawrence.
Here.
Borden.
Here.
Tate. Wade.
Here.
Terry. Here. Temple. Burrows.
Here.
Pike.
Here.
Pepper.
Okay, we do have a quorum. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes from the November 2024 meeting? If not, do we have a motion and second to approve them?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Mr. Borden, second by Mr. Pike. All in favor say aye. Aye. The minutes are accepted. Okay, I'd like to take a few moments to introduce the Planning Commission members and give a brief description of what we do and how this meeting is conducted. The commission has 9 members. 8 of us are volunteers appointed by the mayor for a 6-year term. We also have 1 member from the city council. My name is Kent Lawrence. Our vice chair is Gary Borden. Our secretary is Larry Way. Other members is Myrna Burrows, Ross Terry, Eddie Pike, Forrest Temple, and Francis Tate are not with us today. And our council member is Mr. Hunter Pepper. Members of the public seeking to get an item considered by the Planning Commission must send an application to the Planning Department not less than 21 days prior to this meeting. Unless otherwise specified, all applications for development approvals are the result of submittals by a private citizen seeking some change in their own property. In making our decision, the primary tool used by the Planning Commission is the One Decatur Comprehensive Plan. This is a general community plan for the city of Decatur, was adopted through a public process to formalize a vision for the future of the community that represents the interests and will of all Decatur residents. In many of these cases, the Planning Commission does not have the final say-so. Zonings, annexations, vacations, sidewalk cafe license, and some resolutions all require additional approval from the city council before they become official. In these cases, the role of the Planning Commission is to advise the city council. The first part of today's meeting is a public hearing. Each item will be read separately and voted on after comments and discussion. If you wish to comment on an item, we ask that you come forward, state your name and whether you're a resident of the city of Decatur or not, and then we ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Today's public hearing will have these type requests: preliminary plats. This is the second step of a subdivision process and will have construction plans included. Minor plats are plats that have more than 3 lots, direct access to public services, and a topo provided for review or making minor changes to an existing platted subdivision. So, Mr. Williams, if you'd read the first case, please.
Hello, I'm Tommy Williams with the City of Decatur Planning Department. First thing on our agenda today is the preliminary plat for Bird Spring Ridge subdivision. It is 37.05 acres, and the current zone is AG-1 agriculture. The applicant is Mid-South Testing, and the location is northwest corner of Bird Spring and Norris Mill Road. Their request is to construct 5 residential parcels on 37.05 acres of land, and the proposed land use is residential. One Decatur future land use is low residential, and One Decatur street typology is Norris Mill Road is a minor arterial, and Bird Spring is a collector urban. Conditions to be met: number 1, please include site data, the largest lot, smallest lot, and the total acreage being subdivided, and the total number of lots. Number 2, please change the zoning from R1 to AG. Number 3, please add a scale. Ensure that the scale is not less than 1 inch equals 100 feet. And number 4, per engineering approval. Point of information: number 1 is any relocation of utilities will be at the owner's expense, and any relocation needs to occur before construction. Number 2, applicant has a 40-foot setback. The zone is AG. You may have a 20-foot setback. And number 3, access to wastewater is unavailable without a main extension.
Okay, do we have anyone from the public that wish to speak to this request? Yes, sir, Mr. Fruity.
Mike Faruqi, I am a resident of the city of Decatur. Anything else I need to say?
That's all.
Okay. First off, let me just say thank you to Tommy and the team for the notification letters that went out, because it's the first time I've been exposed to these letters as it came out. I don't even think I'm within 500 foot, but I appreciate the effort in notifying. I think that's a great thing. I would offer and I mentioned this before, for the Planning Commission looking at zoning regulations, that's a fantastic thing to continue in the future and probably expand it. And I say that only because can you go to, I guess it's page 5 that has all the pictures, the colored pictures?
The zoning.
Yeah. I live on Harris Mountain Road, and a lot of the octogenarians that live on my road have been victims of a lot of unbridled development within the city of Decatur, specifically up on our hill. One person lives there currently, had all the trees taken down on a property that she does not own, but then how she has sunlight coming in all year during the summertime frame that heats her house up tremendously. She can't sustain it. One of the neighbors across the street from me, if this goes into effect, backs up right against where her house is. So if we're taking down a bunch of trees, the concern that I think residents have is how will that impact on their ability to enjoy and or live comfortably in the houses that have been there for 40 years. Some of this I probably could have been addressed at the TRC, but again, that's not broadcast to anybody. We don't know what is said in that venue. And this letter that notified me of this event was dated the 6th. I didn't receive it till the 12th. So that's even after the fact that this was happening, that I could have had some input in terms of letting folks know we have some concerns. I mentioned the trees. Drainage is a big issue, and if I can, I don't know if everybody can see that, but along this road, approximately right about here, where all these trees are growing, and you can see it on that. Then you also, it's on the the east side of that property. That tree line is a ditch, and there's a ditch that runs along both sides of this road. So there's very little room to expand for additional houses, or excuse me, additional parking, people, driving vehicles, et cetera. I have been almost hit numerous times trying to walk up that road, and that area does flood in the current environment. Now, we're not talking about denuding trees even further, but there is a flood that happens across that road that affects everybody down in Flint, Oxmoor Road. The other impact that we have here is, again, we're looking at this entire process through a soda straw. One soda straw is this image. One soda straw exists now. There are 3 other subdivisions north of here that are impacting that road with no plans that I understand for development or building up that roadway to make it more feasible for additional traffic.
So if you'd wrap up, your time is up.
So my question to you is, how is this development and the 3 other developments up north of it impacting the One Decatur plan? Because that's the job of this. You just briefed it, that this is the job you have of your to follow and in line with the One Decatur plan. How does it do that?
The One Decatur plan shows that as a future land use of low residential, and that's what this is, low residential.
Okay, so.
Okay, your time is up. Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to speak? Yes, ma'am.
I have some questions for my husband.
Okay, good. First, if you'd state your name if you're a citizen of the city.
I'm Cindy Burris, and I live at the top of Harris Mountain Road on the mountain.
Okay. Thank you.
Across from the ones from the man who took all the trees down. I live now across from him, though. But, questions are, I will just. Where there's a 4-way stop at the North Mill and Spring where they all hit at that 4-way stop. Are you going to, yes, North Mill. Are you going to consider maybe putting a light in there with all the traffic? People fly through that 4-way stop, and with more people coming in, are you willing to put a light there?
I don't think we have plans for that at this time, do we?
Okay, just maybe keeping in mind. The police sit down there, but they still fly through there. Are you going to have the property lines marked? And then, is there going to be some kind of a privacy fence in the back of that neighborhood?
Okay. Property lines are generally not marked. If the property owner decides they want to mark them, they can.
Then they
And the
will.
same thing with the privacy fence, that would be up to the property owner.
Okay, and then there's a spring somewhere, a natural spring over there. Is that going to be protected? My husband said there was a spring over there somewhere on that, down that hill.
I wouldn't know if it's a blue line or not. It doesn't show as a blue line on the survey.
All right, and that's the first time I've seen that map, so we were wondering how many houses it was going to hold. So that's just 5 lots, so for
Thanks, 5 lots for right now.
homes. Thank you, because we didn't know that part. That was all our questions.
Okay, thank you.
It's first and final, so this should be it.
Anyone else like to speak? You work through, right, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, sir. If you'll come forward.
Well, here's what, for a variance, are we in the right meeting?
A variance, no, sir.
No. It does not meet today?
No, sir. That would be next Tuesday,
Thank you.
right? Is this, it's not next Tuesday, it's Christmas.
Yeah, they already had it this month.
Already had
So
it.
it'll be January.
Anyone else like to speak? Mr. Knobloch? Now, we'll get you next, ma'am.
That's kind of, I'm Frankie Knobloch, kind of live in the hood there. You said that it was 5 tracks for now. Do you know of any plans or anything down the road coming at us?
No, we sure don't.
Okay.
I wouldn't, you never know, somebody,
Right.
I
I
would
get you.
assume the 5 tracks would be for sale, but
Yeah.
we don't even know that.
Yeah,
There's no-
yeah.
They're requesting to buy.
The 5 tracks that are there that we're talking about kind of fits the norm for that area anyway. So I mean, if it's five tracks, that's good to go in my book. But I just didn't know if there was something down the road that we had some thoughts on or not.
Well, when it comes to this, the city really doesn't plan this. This is the developer brings it to us,
Right.
and we approve it. Now,
Yeah.
once we approve these 5 tracks, if somebody wants to subdivide it further, then they
Yeah.
have to come through this process
Yeah,
again.
yeah, I got it. Okay.
But I wouldn't think that the intention is to
Yeah.
divide it any
Yeah,
further.
yeah. Okay.
All right, thank you. And you'll be next, ma'am.
There you go.
Mavis Stevens, I live on Norris Mill. I just have one question. You're putting in city sewage, right?
No, ma'am.
There's no city sewage?
No, ma'am.
Everybody's gonna have a septic tank?
Yes, ma'am.
What about the other divisions that you just put in?
All those that are down central.
Why not? I mean, that's...
Well, it's up to the developer if they want to put in.
Oh, okay.
If there's a manhole within 400 feet of the property, then they're required to connect to it unless the city gives them permission not to. But there's not, Gary, how close is the closest manhole? Do you know?
It'll be back down that road there,
So it's probably over 1,000 feet
I would
away.
guess.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just wondering about the possibility of running a sewer line down Norris Mill.
But there's no.
There's one behind my behind my house in that little low subdivision there. I sure would like a sewer
Yeah, it's
service.
scattered out there. There's some like on Marguerite and
Yeah.
is it Mary Love or Love Drive, whatever it is.
But-
They're scattered around out there.
But at
Yeah,
this time, there's no plans to add a city sewer
okay.
to this area.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
We just haven't supposed to sign this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Anyone else like to speak? You've already had your turn.
We didn't have a chance to talk to the preliminary plat right now. Maybe we'll talk about the final plat?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Anyone else? Okay, if no further, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
A motion by Mr. Wade,
Second.
second by Mr. Bright. Any questions or comments from anyone on the commission? Not call the roll?
Lawrence.
Yes.
Gordon.
Yes.
Wade.
Yes.
Terry. Yes. Burrows.
Yes.
Pike.
Yes.
Okay, this preliminary is approved as a 6-0 vote. Okay.
Next, we have minor plat, replat of lots 32A of replat of lots 32, 33, and 34, City View Estates. It is 0.75 acres. The current zone is R2 single family, and the applicant is Jim M. and Mary Moore. The location is 2706 Harley Circle, and their request is to subdivide one parcel into two. Proposed land use is residential, and one Decatur future land use is low residential. One Decatur street typology is Harley Circle is a local street, and there are no conditions to be met. A point of information is number one, any relocation of utilities will be at the owner's expense, and any relocation needs to occur before construction. And number two, please check gas service card.
Anyone from the public wish to speak to this request? If not, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion for approval.
Second. A motion by Mr. Borden, second by Mr. Wade. Any comments or questions from anyone on the commission? Please call the roll.
Lawrence.
Yes?
Gordon.
Yes.
Wade.
Yes.
Terry. Yes. Burrows.
Yes.
Pike.
Yes.
The replat is approved 6-0.
Next, we have minor plat for Legacy Cove Phase 1A. It is 24.98 acres, and the current zone is R5 patio homes. The applicant is Pewright McAnally, and the location is Legacy Cove Southeast. Their request is to modify 6 parcels, and proposed land use is residential. One Decatur future land use is riverfront mixed use, and one Decatur street typology is Legacy Code is a local street. Conditions to be met is number one, please change final plat to minor plat, and number two, per engineering approval. Point of information is any relocation of utilities will be at the owner's expense, and any relocation needs to occur before construction. Ms. Francis, Ms. Martin, it's supposed to be 6.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Does anyone wish to speak to this request? If not, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion for approval.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gordon, second by Mr. Pike. Any questions or comments? Please call the roll.
Lawrence.
Yes.
Gordon.
Yes.
Wade.
Yes.
Terry. Yes. Burrows.
Yes.
And Pike.
Yes.
This is approved 6-0. Okay, the next part of our meeting agenda is the consent agenda. This is the part of the agenda that the Planning Commission has a final decision and does not require a public hearing. These items are read together and voted on as a group. Today we have these type of requests. Final plats comes after the preliminary stage where construction details are worked out and public hearing has been held. This is where we get approval to bond the improvements. Certification to subdivide or consolidate. This is a one-step process to subdivide or consolidate no more than 3 lots. A survey is required. And site plans. These are proposed developments on a collector street or above. These plans show building placement, parking, circulation, landscaping, etc. And the same thing, if you'd like to speak to one of these after they've all been read, you'll be given an opportunity to come speak.
First, we have site plan 695-24. It is on 29.68 acres, and the current zone is M1, M-1A Expressway Commercial. The applicant is Pure Right McAnally for land services. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. Y'all, my pages are front and back, and it's throwing me off. I'm on final plat. Sorry.
Page 15.
All right, first we have final plat, Bird Spring Ridge subdivision. It is on 37.05 acres, and the current zone is AG-1 Agriculture, and the applicant is Mid-South Testing, Inc. The location is northwest corner of Bird Spring in Norris Mill, and their request is to construct 5 residential parcels on 37.05 acres of land. Proposed land use is residential, and 1 Decatur future land use is low residential. 1 Decatur street typology is Norris Mill Road is a minor arterial, and Bird Spring Road is a collector urban. Conditions to be met. Number 1, please add plat note concerning approval from Health Department. And number 2, per engineering approval. A point of information. Number 1, any relocation of utilities will be at the owner's expense, and any relocation needs to occur before construction. Number 2, access to wastewater is unavailable without a main extension. Next, we have site plan 695-24. It's on 29.68 acres. The current zone is M-1A Expressway Commercial, and the applicant is Pure Right McAnally for Land Services, LLC. The location is the Fairgrounds Road, and their request is to construct a 1,400 private roadway extension. Proposed land use is commercial, and 1 Decatur future land use is institution/civic. 1 Decatur street typology is Fairground Road is an urban collector. Conditions to be met. Number 1, please ensure all utilities are within an easement. And point of information. Number 1, any relocation of utilities will be at the owner's expense, and any relocation needs to occur before construction. And number 2, continue to work with engineering for construction. Site plan 696-24. The current zone is B1 local shopping. The applicant is Pure Right McAnally, and the location is 1701 Carradale Southwest. Their request is to approve the site plan, and the proposed land use is institutional. 1 Decatur future land use is neighborhood commercial, and 1 Decatur street typology is Carradale Street is a minor arterial. There are no conditions to be met, and the point of information is any relocation of utilities will be at the owner's expense, and any relocation needs to occur before construction. Next, we have certificate 3634-24. The current zone is R2 single family, and the applicant is Mid-South Testing. The location is 2305 Spring Avenue, and their request is to subdivide 1 parcel into 2. Proposed land use is residential, and 1 Decatur future land use is core neighborhood. 1 Decatur street typology is Spring Avenue Southwest is a minor arterial, and conditions to be met is number 1, please ensure that this parcel is used for only residential purposes and not commercial. And a point of information is number 1, any relocation of utilities will be at the owner's expense, and any relocation needs to occur before construction.
Is there anyone who would like to speak to any of these applications? Yes, sir, Mr. Bruce.
How do we go from final plat to, initial plat to final plat, all in this meeting?
That was presented.
Is it typical?
Not really, but it's.
Well, I see a lot of
small.
heads going like this, and you're saying not typically. So I'm kind of curious what's going on there.
It doesn't really matter as long as they meet the requirements, and they do meet the requirements.
Okay, if we could go back to the Bird Springs, I'd like to highlight a few things again. Okay, and I've already talked about, there is a drainage ditch on both sides of this road. That when a person from this neighborhood decides to walk down here and somehow get and do some physical exercise, this particular part of the road is extremely dangerous, extremely hazardous to anybody going up there. You can get off the side of the road, or you can have a car hit you and move you off the side of the road. There is no sidewalk, there is nothing like that. Is there any potential for, as part of this development, that somebody might add a sidewalk up before it gets to Oxford Flint?
And there's potential for that if the developer wants to do that.
Is the developer here now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how do we contact the developer to see if that's an option? And why is that not being pushed up or thought of as part of the TRC?
It's not required in the minor.
Well, there's a lot of things not required, but there's some good things that would help build
I
community
gave you
within
an
our
answer.
city.
I gave you an answer.
You did. It
Yes,
was
sir.
very
Thank you.
insufficient. Thank you for that insufficient answer.
Okay.
Okay, so the first thing is, it's dangerous on this road. We're not going to talk to the developer about the potential to change that. There is a flooding risk I've already talked to, which apparently the TRC has no problem with. And I don't know if anybody down Oxford Flint Road who has houses butting up to that might have some concerns, because their houses also flood in that area. So thank you very much for your participation.
Thank you. Anyone else? Now, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion for approval?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gordon, second by Mr. Wade. Any comments or questions from anyone on the commission?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe you can answer it, or I don't know, engineering. The sidewalk requirements, how many houses have to be constructed before there's a requirement to put in a sidewalk?
Tommy, you want to answer that?
Well, I could tell for this development, one house, they don't have to put in a sidewalk for this, but it's not a whole subdivision. So they won't have to put in a sidewalk with it.
This is a minor subdivision. which
So for
doesn't
minor
require-
subdivisions,
It's not
not
required.
required.
Major subdivision is
Major,
required.
okay, thank you.
This is a minor subdivision going through.
Yeah, in our sub-regs, I don't remember the number of homes, but I know there's a density requirement, and I think it's less than 5 acres or an acre per house or something, so this acreage per unit keeps us from having to have sidewalks.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, please call the roll.
Lawrence,
Yes.
Gordon,
Yes.
Wade,
Yes.
Terry. Yes. Burrows.
Yes.
Pike.
Yes.
These have all been approved with a 6-0 vote. Okay, next is other business. This being our annual meeting, we once a year review and approve or make any changes to our bylaws. We've all received a copy of those bylaws, and the planning department has proposed a couple of changes. You want to read through those, Tommy?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go over, this is resolution 009-24. These are y'all bylaws. And I'm just gonna go over
Hold on just a second. If anybody wishes to leave at this time, you're welcome to go, or you can stay if you'd like.
I'm just gonna go everything, excuse me, y'all. Give me a second, sorry. I'm just gonna hit the things that's changing. And if y'all will go down to number 5, where it says all members, it says all members have 18 months to become CAPSO certified. So from your, once you get appointed, you have 18 months to become CAPSO certified, and it will help you along the way, and it's very much educational.
Tommy, one question that's been asked on that, how long does that certification last? Is it forever, or is it a recertification?
2 years, and then you can go through, thank you, Josiah, then you can go back and do a recertification and get renewed for another year.
We can or we must?
Must. This is a must. This is a must. It says all
So
members
just
have.
To be certified, you have to keep that up.
Yes.
Okay.
So starting with, so you is a must. It's a shall. It should say shall, but yes, you must becomes CAPSO certified at some
And
point.
keep your certification up every
And keep
2
it,
years.
and keep it up, yes, ma'am. Certified Alabama Public Zoning Official.
Okay, this,
So once it expires, you have another 18 months to get recertified?
No, once it's coming up, we try to get you ready. We'll let y'all know. We'll keep up with y'all certifications, let y'all know the recertification. And I think the first time is 3 days, and you can do it online, and not online, but remote. 8-day class, all day class?
The initial certification, if you haven't been certified before, it's 3 days, but it's pretty long classes. But it's 3 days in a row, morning or afternoon, depending on which one you reserve. And you also have to do an at-home test, which is reading an entire book and then going through and doing all the homework and turning it in and making a passing grade.
there's two different, there's one for staff and there's a different for commission members. The ones that we have been through are not nearly that long.
Okay. So I'll do some due diligence on that.
Okay.
Okay.
So the planning department will contact us and let us know.
Yes, we'll do all the work for you, letting you know the availabilities and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do all that for y'all. Y'all won't have to do anything. Y'all don't have to pay anything. We'll just make sure, be open for the dates. So be looking for the dates.
Okay.
Best I remember, there's several different times during the year. It's not just,
Yeah,
there's one
Correct.
time, and if you miss it, you've missed it, but there's several different
Correct.
times during the year you take this. Yeah.
The ones that I have attended in the past were 2 2-hour sessions.
2 2-hour sessions. Okay, I'll check with that.
Now that may be the same course that you're thinking of that I just also took in Capstone. I heard that it used to be shorter.
Okay.
But now that, for some reason, they've drawn it out longer. Or
Now-
just put in a lot more material, it's very dense. It's got a lot of information.
It is a lot of information, but y'all, it's the test, the take-home homework assignment, very easy. It's nothing that any of y'all can't do. Very easy stuff. And the recertification, so after you become CAPSO certified, the recertification is even easier. I mean, it's a day-long course. I don't think you even turn in homework. They just want to know that you're present. So I just did the recertification. He did the CAPSO, so easy breezy for us. So y'all can do it. Next, we have attendance. We already do this, but we need to be mindful that the out attendance will be tracked, and the Planning Commission is hereby established a minimum number of excuses absence of 25%. So we did do a check, and a couple of us are under the 25% absence rate. So let's be mindful of that we do. This is even though y'all volunteering, but it is a serious volunteering job, and we need to, we got to be able to have a quorum.
So we would consider a medical condition as an excused
Yes.
absence.
Now, don't be putting yourself in a bind trying to make it here. If you can't make it, let us know. That's fine. We're gonna work with you, but let's keep that in mind, though.
Well, wait, that says, am I reading that wrong? Excused absences of 25%, so if it's excused, it would not count to that? Is that what we're saying about the medical?
So, yeah, but at that point, what is excused and who's gonna determine what's excused and what's not excused? But also, if you have a medical emergency, that would be considered an excuse, yes. We have never had a problem with trying to have a quorum, so it's not an issue. We just don't want it to become one. And the last one is on page.
So I have a question
Yes, ma'am.
related to that. Okay, so it's reviewed in October, so November 1 starts the new year in terms of attendance?
I think December starts the new year in terms of attendance, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
If I'm not.
I would think it would be on the same year as the city is, and that starts.
So what is it?
That starts November 1.
Because it says after an annual review in October of each year.
Then that's what it says, Mr. France. I mean, that's what it says, Ms. Marner.
Yeah.
Then it's October then.
So
Whatever the bylaws say.
starts the new
Yes.
year.
Correct.
And then the chairman gets to write to those people that have been absent too many times and give them a nasty letter, right?
They will be notified, correct?
Yours is in the mail.
I have a whole lot of excuse
Yeah, I
now.
think the dates coordinate with the fiscal year, the
Yes.
city's fiscal year, which ends September 30th.
Oh.
The new year starts October 1.
October 1?
From October 1 to September 30th, every year is the city's fiscal year.
Well, the reason I'm asking, my husband had a stroke November 16th, so I missed that was on a Saturday. That Tuesday, I missed that meeting last month in November.
Not TRC, just planning
No,
commission
no,
meeting.
this was planning commission.
Okay.
I missed the planning commission.
Okay.
Physically, of course, I
Yeah.
listened, through YouTube, but do I need to get an excuse?
No, ma'am. We ain't finna be, no, ma'am. We're not finna be bringing in excuses. We just we gonna do it in good. We're gonna take in good faith that you're telling the truth, and we're not gonna.
And so you're not gonna ding me?
Right.
Okay.
So y'all, on the page 5, on the zoning review and approval process, letter C, and it says planning department distributes notification to residents as per Code of Alabama, section 11-52-32 of proposed rezoning as determined by the planning department, and post signs on property to be considered for rezoning when appropriate. So we're not just doing rezoning, we're doing preliminary plats as well. So with that being said, we're just gonna use the state code, and the state code says adjoining, adjacent, and things of that nature. So that's what we're gonna use. And if we choose to go above and beyond, then we'll do above and beyond.
And Tommy, I'm assuming that we do go above and beyond.
We do above and beyond. Yes, we do, 100%.
Why don't you go ahead and state what you're doing?
So what we do 500 feet. And as y'all see what state code say, we do way above that. And then we put out signs as well. We try to put out the signs as where the development is happening, so they can see literally, if you see the sign right here, wherever the woods and stuff or whatnot, that's where the development is happening. And most of our neighbors are not doing 500 feet, they just doing adjacent property owners. And we do 500 feet just to ensure that, we're reaching out to masses and cover ourselves as well.
And there's been some cases where you went even outside the 500 feet.
Yes, it has. There have been cases yes. Sometimes if I see a parcel, it's just 1 or 2 parcels that's laying outside of it, I'll go ahead and include them so they know what's going on.
And I showed y'all pictures of the sand, so it's using. Okay, do we have a motion to accept these bylaws as changed?
I make a motion to accept the bylaws as changed.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wade, second by Mr. Borden. Everybody, any comments, other comments? Okay, please call the roll. Or no, this just takes a voice vote. All in favor, state yea. Aye. Any opposed? Those are approved. Okay, then last business, it's time to re-elect officers for year 2025. So I'll open the floor for nominations.
I would like to propose that we remain the same for 2025. Ken is willing to be chair, Gary co-chair, and Larry secretary.
I second.
Okay. Any other nominations?
Oh,
Do we have a motion to close nominations?
So moved.
second.
Okay. All in favor to close the nominations, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All in favor of that slate of officers, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll stay with what we've got. No other business, we are adjourned. Thank y'all.
Tommy, you just stand.